While Subaru is promising us a hybrid version of the Forester compact crossover sometime in mid to late 2025, right now all you've got is this one all-wheel drive 2.5 liter option. So what sort of fuel economy can you expect on the highway with this flat 4? Well, today we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2025 Subaru Forester. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this compact crossover. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Updated for 2025, giving us some new looks, a slightly different chassis, but a carryover powertrain. In true Subaru fashion, you still have all-wheel drive, you still have the 2.5 liter flat 4, and you still have a continuously variable transmission and 8.7 inches of ground clearance. This is the sport model, so we're getting a little bit larger wheels and a little bit more street-focused styling. But if you do want to see more on this Forester, check the link below. We've got a dedicated review of the sound system and a takeaways review video. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Forester 32 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are plenty of people who do a lot of miles on the highway and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, I'm going to head to the gas station tonight. We got to do these tests at night in order to avoid traffic. I'm going to fill up, I'm going to go out and do 100 miles and then come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperatures will be about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, starting to cool down a little bit here in the evenings. Tire pressures will be set to their door placard. I'll have to check. Let's take a look. I think, if I remember correctly, it's about 33 front, 32 rear. Yep, 33 front, 32 rear, PSI cold. And we're going to be running the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So without any further ado, let's head to the gas station. We are all topped off. We got our GPS reset, the trip computer reset. We're going to get our climate control at 73 degrees auto. And we're ready to begin. Now, we don't really have drive modes here in the Forester. We just have Sport, Sharp, and Individual drive modes. That mostly just adjusts how aggressive the throttle is. So we're just going to go in Individual. And actually, I can't remember if the I means Individual or not. I'm sort of just giving that name to it. But we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away and pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for the car, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, we're getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and we're going to set our cruise control at a GPS-indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average about 70 over the whole test. No problem getting up to speed. CVT keeping us in just the right amount of power band. Testing a little bit later tonight because Alyssa and I wanted to have some dinner together. And then by the time we were all wrapped up with that and I got out here, it's already past 8 o'clock. So hopefully construction doesn't end up being an issue when we're coming on back. But looks like our GPS is reading about 1 mile per hour below the vehicle's readout, which is a pretty decent place to be. So settling in at 72 on the dash. Subaru has a fairly competent active lane keeping functionality. It'll be nice to spend this time with it and see how it does, but I've already put 100 miles on this car, most of it being highway, and I found that it does a pretty good job keeping you in lane. One thing that was very important for me was to turn off the beep for every time a car was in front of you with the adaptive cruise control. When I got in the car, if I was in this situation here where it detected a car in front of me, the car would beep. And that's very frustrating. I wanted that off right away. So once I got that off, thankfully, it's a setting in the infotainment, then we're in a better shape. So we're going to continue on with the rest of the test here and catch up with you at the end. I'm going to be testing out the Harman Kardon sound system with some members-only tracks, so check the link below if you'd like to see those. And in the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Subaru Forester Sport. This is a pretty decent place to be on the highway. The active lane keeping actually works really well. Like I said, I suspected that would be the case, but I confirm after an entire hour, despite this being a much less expensive car than a lot of the things we've tested recently, it's less frustrating to use on the highway than a lot of them. You get a nice little pop-up down there letting you know when you need to touch the steering wheel. Other than that, this thing keeps itself really confidently in between the lanes. Right there, it just signaled that it's off. And then, right there, got a green one again. No sort of beeps. Very calm and confident. Adaptive cruise control has been good as well, and that is helped by the fact you can adjust the adaptive cruise control aggressiveness in the settings. I have it set to the most aggressive, so once the car in front of me gets out of the way, then it gets right back up to speed smoothly. And the CVT gives it just as much power as it needs in order to motivate itself without kind of screaming too much. We can see on the tack shot, it is moving around quite a bit, but it seems like on flat ground, it sort of settles around 1800 RPM roughly, but right now we're going up a hill a little bit, so it's doing about 21, 22, and I think I've seen it dip down about 1700 before. Right now, okay, so we're driving, yep, it's at about 16, 17, going down this hill a little bit. In terms of fuel economy, we are coming in right at the EPA, just a slight hair above, I guess. EPA is 32, and we're looking at 32.6 according to the vehicle's trip readout. Totally fine with that. Is this truck really trying to get over? Why? Why do you need to get over here? Okay. General cabin noise seems adequate for the price. A little bit louder right now with this sunroof shade open. Interestingly, though, I haven't been able to get very comfortable in this car. I don't know if there's something going on with my seat or what the deal is, but there's something to do with the ergonomics between the wheel and the center armrest and the seat. Just, I've been fairly uncomfortable this whole time I've had the car so far this week, and that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, other than that, we're going to get this thing back to the pump and fill it up, and then I'm going to catch up with you for the final results in the morning. After filling up, we ended up putting in 2.961 gallons into the Forester in order to top it back off. After traveling 100.3 miles divided by that 2.916, we're getting a little bit better than the EPA result, 34 miles per gallon here for the Forester Sport. Now, that's not a terrible figure, considering this is a pretty straightforward powertrain, and we've got this extra ground clearance and the all-wheel drive. Yeah, it's not the best you're going to see in this class, but for a fairly spacious compact crossover, not too bad. The other thing that's pretty cool is we've got a 16.6 gallon fuel tank in here, so 16.6 gallons times that 34 gallon fuel tank is giving you an impressive 560 miles of cruising range on the highway here in the 25 Forester. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the hybrid powertrain in this later on next year, but admittedly, for the capabilities of this vehicle, in order to get even just over 30 miles per gallon on the highway, fairly decent result. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the new Forester, check the link below. We've got videos for you there, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.